Okay, why do I work in pen? There are two main reasons. When you work in pen, there's nothing for you to erase. When I started my artwork journey, I used pencil and eraser, but I didn't know how to draw, so every mark I made, I couldn't get rid of it fast enough. And one day I had set aside an hour to do sketching. I sat at my desk, I worked for the entire hour, and at the end of that time, I had nothing to show for it because I had erased everything that I'd done. The second reason is when you work in pen, you have a record of your sketch. So if you're working on something that is causing you a little bit of difficulty or whatever in a certain section, you can actually make a mark on the previous sketch that you've done. So when you get to that area a second or third or fourth time around, you have a reminder that in that particular area you need to change the angle, you need to make the line shorter or longer. But this idea of being able to correct your work as you go is also critical to your progress. But of course, like, it goes a little bit deeper than that, because when I started, I was super pumped that I had figured out how to do these little sketches and everything. I went through the house, I got the kids colored pencils, I bugged my neighbor, I got a whole bunch of colored pencils from her, and everything that I was doing was with color. Then, because it's just so fun buying art supplies, I was buying really expensive light fast colored pencils, and then I bought a whole bunch of pan pastels, and all the work that I was doing was in color. And that went on actually for quite a while, and I was really happy with the work that I was doing. It was stunning to me that I could even do it. But after a while, what happened is I I found myself in this routine, and anything that is routine, of course, I have to like destroy. But I had this method of just like adding dark where it was dark and adding light where it was light, or this kind of stuff. Well, like, in the way that I was following the reference photo, I was doing the best that I could to duplicate it on my sketch with the colors that I had. So that would seem like everything was fine, but what I found was that it had become routine in the sense that I was picking and choosing colors to add to my sketch in a way that was kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, where I wasn't fully understanding how all the little pieces worked together in order to make like a beautiful bird the way I wanted to do a beautiful bird sketch. And I don't know if I'm explaining that properly, but the point was that my development in using color took me so far, and then it couldn't take me any further because I wasn't understanding the fundamental concepts with regard to light and shadow and depth and curvature and dimension and all these nuances that are there in the reference photo. But I was so focused on the color that I didn't have that deeper understanding of what was actually going on in the reference photo. So even though it was super hard to do, I packed up all my beautiful colored pencils and all my really expensive pen pastels and put them away. And I knew I had to go back to basics. And I tell you, when you are working in pen, which is just one color, you are forced to learn the basics. So first of all, like, if you just have one color and you're not adding anything to it, but you change that color depending, like for example with a pen, depending on the amount of pressure that you apply to the paper, you can change the way that color looks from light to dark. And that is called value. So you are using one color and you are changing the value of that color from light to dark, dark to light, depending on the amount of pressure that you apply when you are holding the pen. So I'm not going to answer that call. So when you are working in pen and the only tools that you have are changing the value, what that means is you have to have a very, very good understanding of shadow and curvature and density and light, dark, what's causing the darkness, reflection, all this kind of stuff. Because in order for your sketch to look like it wants to fly off the page or have any sense of dimension, you must be skilled enough to use the value in that one tool to get those concepts across. So yeah, it is very, very difficult working with just pen. It really forces you to study and understand the reference photo with regard to why is an area dark, why is it not dark, is it pigment, is it feather density, is it curvature, is it shadow. And when you have that level of understanding, it is easier for you to use that pen to get that idea across. And in this regard, your pen sketch has dimension because you're understanding the key concepts with regard to light and dark, and you are applying that to your sketch. And honestly, it looks really cool. I mean, this is the pen that you're using to make a grocery list. And then you do this like really cool sketch and you stick it on the wall. Trust me, it looks neat. It looks neat around here with all my, anyway, talking too much about myself. But trust me when I say that working in pen is the best way and likely the fastest way for you to see progress in your work. I don't want to use the word better because I don't like that word. So you want to see differences and progress in your work. And gosh, I had one. Oh, and also I would hazard a guess that even though I am seeing progress in my pen sketches and I'm very happy with the way my skills are developing as far as understanding shading and contour and whatnot, I know I will be working with pen likely for another year, year and a half, maybe even longer, because I'm not there. I'm not at a point yet where I feel like I'm ready to go back to working in color, but we'll get there eventually and hopefully you'll still be around. So I'm Elaine, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.